All right, race fans, here we go. Clean Racing League here tonight, and it's going to be a good one. Auto Club. You know, I talk about Auto Club a lot. I always say the Auto Club effect. You know, when I talk about how, you know, track position and momentum and stuff like that. So, big track, big field here tonight. We've got qualifying, and Caleb got something interesting here because a couple drivers won't make the field here.
Yeah, you know, it kind of the first time we're kind of seeing this charter system come into effect. You know, this season, you know, it's only race 2. But, you know, we have 40 charters that are, you know, these are paid drivers. They are automatically locked to the field. However, that only leaves 3 spots open for these unchartered trucks. And there's 5 of them here tonight. So you know, we'll see how qualifying shapes up, you know, as our last drivers are kind of wrapping up their qualifying runs. But, you know, this kind of puts some pressure on these drivers that, you know, aren't here every week and, you know, don't have a charter. You know, they have to make these laps count, and especially on a momentum track like Auto Club, you have to make your laps count.
No, and I'm already looking right now, and actually one of them, Shane Calhoun, who is yet to step out here and make a qualifying run, and I think Kyle Payne's the other one. So actually, that's two trucks right there yet to step out. I mean, it's still showing them here, but I'm like you, we'll have to see. Showing 40 out here right now, total. I don't know. We'll have to see how this qualifying comes close to see when we grid up here. That with you is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the system adds, you know, some excitement. You know, not to the charter drivers, but to the uncharted drivers. You know, they come in here, they know they're gonna have to race their way in. So I mean, this is kind of the first time we've seen this in effect. Where we'll have drivers eliminated. You know, we'll kind of have like 2 uncharted trucks, maybe 1 here. So we'll have all 3, but now we have 5. So, you know, we
I'm
still
just
have
looking
trucks
at it right
going out.
now because it's only showing 40 drivers. Is it just maybe just showing the 40 field and there's more than that? Try to qualify right now. Like I say, 2 trucks if you have to qualify. and that is actually Calhoun and Payne. They've yet to make a
Yes.
qualifying run.
So Kyle Payne of the 68 truck, he's chartered.
No, Calhoun ain't.
Yeah, no. Calhoun does not have a charter. Um,
Talked about some other. Bob Stevens, I believe it was, which he made a qualifying run. He's 29th.
Bob Stevens, of the 90 is also chartered.
Let's see.
I know there was
I
the
know,
42
folks.
truck.
Yeah, we should have a list, but hey. Oh yeah, we did. The Darian Staff was one. He's 13th, so we know he's going to make the field. I mean, it looks like pretty much everybody. I mean, everybody showing right now is going to make the field because it's 40 drivers showing. I'm not sure who's not going to, because it's not showing me that. Because it's only actually showing 40 drivers out here. I could do this. It's not very likable here, folks, but I look at the. And that's still showing. I don't know. Maybe the other drivers that we were looking at earlier in practice just decided, I'm not going to try to qualify. But we'll see here in about another few minutes.
All I know is, however this uniformity starting lineup shapes out, it's going to be an exciting race here in the Club Racing Truck Series. It always is.
Kenny though right now on top of pole, man.
Well, if you remember the last time we came here, I think it was season 20, second to last race of the season. Him and Jacob Grant had a really good battle. Jacob Grant had come out on top on that one, but this racetrack, especially when you get drivers that are as competitive as the ones here in the CRL Truck Series, battles like that, like we've seen last time when we came to Auto Club, are just bound to happen. And before we'll get into how the trucks will pack up in the beginning, because they always do. It's kind of like a plate race in the beginning, and then as the race goes on, they kind of draw themselves out. It's just kind of it's just how the racing is.
Auto Club effect. Yeah, I mean, and you're right. It's just this track. Unfortunately, this track does not exist anymore. They're in the midst of tearing it apart. And, I don't know if anybody's kept up in real life on what it is, but I think the whole front stretch is gone now or something like that. I'd have to go back and double check. But all right, so 40 drivers did make it, and it does look like Shane Calhoun was one of them. So I'm not sure. I know in practice we were seeing more than 40 drivers out here, and that's why we were talking about it. But now it only showed in qualifying a straight 40 drivers. So I'm not sure if it just went, okay, we're going to eliminate some of those guys or whatnot. But nonetheless, Evan Kinney puts it on pole, and Tyler Honeycutt, remember last season, made the chase without winning a race and almost made it to the Final Four. Did he lock himself in tonight, though?
I think he has a really good shot of doing so. This track favors if you can save your tires. The track is so bumpy, abrasive. Is if you can hold on to your right front and manage it while still keeping the speed, you can pretty much do anything here you want.
Absolutely.
And Honeycutt, we've seen it last season. The way when he wasn't involved in anything, just how he was able to kind of put the truck in places some other drivers weren't. But yeah, it looks like 3 of the top 5 are high five racing drivers. You got Tyler Honeycutt, Abram Gustin, and
Yeah,
or
Ghost.
Ghost, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
Ghost is
Jacob
another one,
Grant.
past champ there, Caleb. And the last couple seasons since he won the title have not been seasons that he wants to remember.
No, and going back to the season he won the championship. Um, I think it was season 20?
It was a couple seasons ago.
No, it was season 19 because that was the race that it was Indianapolis was the final race, and
Yeah.
it was when Josh went out of turn 4, ended up losing the championship. Um,
It was
I know he
exciting.
probably won't like you brought it up, um, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but if you want to go through the top 10 real quick,
Yeah.
give some
Got Evan Kinney
drivers.
up there, Tyler Honeycutt, Jacob Grant started up over Jamie Horn. That's another guy who's looking to try to maybe bounce back tonight. Abram Ghost right there. And fourth, got Rob Sherwood, another one who wants to, kind of get his season turned around. He's had some pretty good ones. Got Steve Gerber starting at 7, Jordan Trask at 8, Mike Haynes 9th, and then Eric Anderson 10th. And we looked at the rest of the field there with the grid earlier while we were talking. 40 drivers out here, and actually looks like 38 because 2 of them now are not starting on here. They might start the pits still later on. We'll have to see. But this is a tough track to pass. We've talked about it several times, talked about it in the past. It's one of these tracks where you got, what's that word we use a lot of times? You got to be semi-aggressive. You got to be aggressive, but you got to be cautious at the same time. Let's see. Lights off on the pace truck. Here we go.
Yeah, you have to be patient. We bring it up every single week. Patience. As Evan Kinney's going to take us to the green here.
Green flag.
And,
I'll tell you what. Yeah. Like you said, plate track racing, man, at the first of this.
Yeah, everyone's going to be bunched up together. We might see some 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide. There it is right there, 79 going down to the bottom. Honeycutt getting a little loose with Jacob Grant behind him. But, I mean, these trucks are going to be everywhere for the opening lap. Oh, we already got one?
Multiple trucks. I don't think it started with him. I think he was just a product. Yeah, it started in front of him. He just tried to avoid it. I don't know what that was.
Oh, that was Kusler right there.
Who was it? Oh yeah,
it was.
Oh wow. That's not how he wants. Oh, so we rewind there because it looked like he had to check up. It's like the 79 might have got on the apron and he had to check up a little bit. Yeah, that's when they were like 3. It looks like he was on the apron. 79. He had to check up and he just got bumped in the back. Unfortunate. Just kind of one of those races. Oh, and Aldis too got turned. Wow. Just one of them just accordion effects, Caleb.
Yeah, and just the 79. I brought it up when they went to turn 1. He was going to make the move down to the bottom. He just went a little too low, and just the apron to the racetrack. It's flat down there. You get down there, you lose the left side of the truck, and it just takes the back end. You try to save it, and it caused what you said, an accordion effect.
Yeah, it did.
And 2 past champions involved in that, with Joshua Altus and the 61 Wayne Luther.
Not too bad. At least it's early on here. So they've got time to bounce back from something like that. Lane and all. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Yeah, they've got time to bounce back. They're going to need a little help. Normally, the problem with this track is the help that they're going to need is cautions. We normally don't see a lot of cautions here at this track. Auto Club's just that way. Las Vegas is another one comes. So then it's like, okay, you're going to have pit strategy. Can you get it done by pit strategy? Which is another thing here that's really tough to do without the caution help. Because tires, I don't want to say don't matter, but they're not the be-all, end-all. Track position really is a big thing here. So, yeah, they're in a hole. Can they get back up there? I think they can, but they're going to need a little help.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the lack of cautions we've had the past few races here, I think the max cautions we've ever had at Auto Club in the series is 3. We're already at 1 tonight on the opening lap, and that truck is destroyed.
Well, yeah, and I'm sorry about that, Ken. I don't mean to say it, but I forgot about this. That there is no fast fixes here. So I kind of retract a little bit on what I was saying about Hoosler. His night might be done. Unfortunately, that truck being tore up. Aerodynamics does play a factor at this place too.
Oh, it's massive, especially when these trucks are so momentum heavy.
Yeah.
You got to be able to carry the momentum, carry the speed. These trucks.
Yeah.
I say he's missing a right front fender, and he's missing.
You're gonna see it right there. Yeah, that's gonna kill him, and the whole back end. Yeah.
And folks, when you're missing that stuff, even if it takes 5 miles an hour off the truck, that can kill your laps. I mean, you're talking like 3-4 tenths a lap, and over the course of the race, I mean, they're gonna lap you. You can't compete like that.
It's just unfortunate. I mean, wrong place, wrong time. Right? It's racing. Yeah, I know. Hoosler and them, and Alta's probably not happy over it, but it's just one of those things. Been at the wrong place, wrong time, and things. Normally, you kind of don't see a lot of stuff like that. Again, we go back to Auto Club being a track wide. You don't see it. It's just one little slip up, and it happened. Unfortunately, it happened up front. Two of the top guys got involved, so maybe now we'll see a new guy come up here. Who we got up here? Obviously, we talked about Honeycutt, Jamie Horn, another one who in the past has had some pretty good races as we go back green, but here lately has kind of had an up and down season.
Green.
We'll see. Green flag. Kenny, man, takes the flag with Ghost and Company.
Yeah, I mean, he went really late in the restart zone. He's trying to back everyone up. He wants to run into turn 1. He doesn't want to be side by side, and I wouldn't want to be either, especially after what we just seen. But I mean, these drivers are going to be super aggressive, and they want the lead. And you see the 22 of Ghost in the Sports Academy truck with his teammate Honey behind him. They're gonna want that lead. That they race for wins, they want wins. Even if it's lap 6, they're gonna want it.
Need a battle for the lead right now. Ghost going to the high side there on Kenny. And you talked about it. You got to be aggressive early on. I talked about that. You got to be that aggressive early on, but then you got to be cautious throughout, because on this track you got to get everything you can early on. Here you see Ghost go to the lead. Big battle happening back here. They are 2, 3, 4 wide around here with Trask, Haynes. You got Gerber and Smith and Company as they all coming out. So again, this is where the aggressiveness is. You see 79 hit that wall again of Trask. But this is where the aggressiveness is, Caleb. And early on, because you got to get what you can get before those tires and everybody gets single file.
Yeah, that was always my game plan going into these races, especially on the restarts. It was get as many positions as you can, and just, because everyone, especially on a track like this where everyone's tires kind of die off at the same time, unless you push like overly, like you're going. It was always get to the front and just kind of coast. Don't put any extra wear on the tires. Of course, I wasn't very good at it. Where I stopped, I was terrible at tire saving. But these drivers are very good at it, and that's why they're doing it.
Absolutely. Right now you see some side-by-side racing, Collins, and you talk about being good at it. Don't feel bad. I'm about the same at it myself. But still, everybody's trying to get what they can get. You see a little bunch up back here. Eric Anderson, Gerber, Pursley, and Company with Bell there. Kind of getting single file towards the top. As you go back here around about 13th place spots where you get a lot of side-by-side action.
Yeah, and you bring up Crank Bell, right behind this battle here in the 14. he's already locked into playoffs off his win from Daytona last week. So he still has to meet the race requirements for the regular season, but I think he'll make it. He races every week, so he'll be fine. But yeah, everyone's kind of starting to single file out here. This is where passing is going to get really difficult. Once everyone kind of slots into their home, taking it away from them is going to be difficult.
And that takes us back to what we were talking about earlier with being aggressive on the start.
Yeah, it's as the run goes on, as your tires start to shred because of the surface of this racetrack, it gets harder and harder to pass on the bottom of the racetrack. The low line is so difficult to make any passes. And you kind of start seeing these cars go further and further up the racetrack, but you can only go so far up because it gets even bumpier up there, and there's a wall, so you definitely don't want to be in that. Just you're racing the racetrack once you're single file. You want to find the fastest line, but you also don't want to hurt your tires.
Absolutely. Here, Anderson right now up there in 12th, but meanwhile out front, Ghost has got it, but he's got the company behind him with Kenny. Kenny's trying to see what he can do. I don't know if it's beneficial for him to try to make that pass or just ride behind him. I mean, you see those two kind of breaking out. They got a little bit of breathing room over Honeycutt sitting here in third place, Jamie Horn, but I go back to, I love to say, the Auto Club effect, and this is it right here. Everybody single file, tough place to pass. You got that one groove kind of going around. You can use the high side, but it pretty much takes the guy in front of you making a mistake. You see right there, Horn kind of getting a little bit, not the momentum coming out of the turn, and the run behind him Haynes gets. Problem is Haynes has to check up because you can get side by side with a guy, but it doesn't mean you're going to make that pass.
No, it also kind of helps in this situation. Honeycutt, Horn, and the 24, as he gets into the wall, as I say that, they're all teammates. And you got the 19 favorite Grant.
Look at Sherwood. My bad. Look at Sherwood. Well, he said, Grant, if you wasn't going to take that opportunity, I was. Good night.
Yeah, the 19 kind of had to check up to the 24 after he got to the wall. Allowed the 93 of Sherwood to make the move. So they both lost out on spots there. 79 making a move on the slow 19 of Grant.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you see it right there. The 79 of Trask, he's having a little bit of trouble earlier on. Got there, and looks like that truck's getting tight on him heading up the track, and then you got that tight, loose feeling, and you know, and I know. You get up there, the truck gets tight, you try to overcompensate, and that's usually when she snaps loose on you. So you got to get that fine line. What's up, Tom? Man, appreciate it, man, out there. I mean, we're here tonight live at Auto Club for the Clean Racing. Let me get it out in a minute here. For Clean Racing League. And title sponsor, man, out there himself, Sports Academy. Ghost has not had the seasons he won't, but tonight a win definitely could change your mind about how your season goes.
Well, once you win, you kind of get this breath of fresh air. You kind of breathe, this sigh of relief, I guess, because you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is just show up for your races, and you're locked in. You can start looking forward to whatever races are in the playoffs. Focus on winning those, getting through your rounds, and then making the championship. So I think these guys kind of understand that. The 22 of Ghost is Abram. He's always been good at tracks like these big tracks, these 2-mile tracks. He's won at Michigan before. He's won one, I believe, here at Auto Club. Don't hold me on that.
I'd have to go back on.
So he's always been good at tracks like these. He's always up front. He's always battling for the lead, and he's in the lead right now.
Absolutely. So like right now, leading this one. Kenny's right behind him there with Honeycutt trying to see if he can't close in. Jamie Horn. Well, I don't see Mom out there yet. She's being really quiet. But look at Rob Sherwood. He's the man on the move. We saw him make that move earlier. He's trying to get to that front, get the spot back. He's up 1 now in the 4th. Puts Horn right for the moment back there in the 5th place spot. You got Trask, who's just, he's basically wrestling that truck, trying to just hang on to it.
Yeah, and it's just as the truck falls off, you know, we're gonna start seeing these drivers fighting it. But you know, working the high lane, you know, 3 wide. This might be a problem coming off the corner. No, they're all giving each other space. But you know, this is kind of what you know, smart of Horn to back out of that. You know, don't want to do anything risky too early. You know, kind of ruin the race. Don't want to be doing that.
No, you don't.
And
but Honeycutt's caught the leaders up here too with Kenny. And again, we don't really talk much about it also either here is, you know, guys might be better on the shorter than long runs here. And this is kind of where you're going to see your passing. You get single file, then you'll see maybe like I call it like cluster style racing, where you see a guy make the pass. And you see Honeycutt maybe save some tires. He's able to make that momentum run. Got the run on Ghost. Is he going to take the lead? Tyler Honeycutt, who did not win a race all last season, maybe tonight's the night.
yeah, and so far it's looking that way. I mean, that was, I mean, making slight work of 2 leaders up front that have been up front all race. But now, you know, you got 2 high 5 drivers out in front. They could be trying to work together to get away from Evan Kenny. So, you know, especially having 2 cars like this, you know, you don't want to be pushing it. You can't bump draft like it's Daytona. But you can definitely use each other to break away from the draft. Because you can see it pulling in the 88 of Kenny to the back of this 22.
And you see Ghostman going high along there, and you see Kenny trying to take that 2nd place spot. Honeycutt's out front. You see behind him Jordan Trask, who's been just muscling that truck all race long. Still hanging on the 4th. Sherwood back in the 5th. Grant, but we got a good battle up here for around about the 2nd place spot. Actually for the lead also.
Yeah, and if I'm the 22 of Abram, I don't want to give the 88 the high lane. That is the preferred lane, especially when you're in a battle. You don't want to give it up. If you can make your move around the outside, that's the way to do it. But you know, like you've seen with Honeycutt, the number 9 at Honeycutt, him diving in on the inside, turn through below the 22. Sometimes you just have to do that. That's the only way you can get around the truck.
Go back here around about 10, see what's happening. You see, man, some side-by-side racing here. You got Collins, Persley and company back here with them. And then behind them, we got Durant. They're 3 wide. Here comes Durant down on the low side. They got Persley right there in the middle. We've seen a couple times. The track's wide enough to do 3 wide. Just got to be careful. Not the fastest way around here because you can lose a lot of momentum. You see there, Kratz, he's going to be able to pull it up. Just give a little update, too, back here. Unfortunately, Lane Hoosler back on pit road. His night took a turn for the worst early on. And let's see where Altus is here. Just for, because he was the other one that was involved. There he is. He's back in 31st position. He was involved in that wreck. His truck doesn't look much damage or anything. So maybe able to get up here. Hoosler was the one who pretty much took the blunt force of that incident early on.
Yeah, and I mean, other than Altus getting cooked, I mean, I didn't really see any heavy contact. But he might have some damage because I mean, he did nail the back of the 61 truck, so he might have his temps might be rising. That is a thing that happens in iRacing, people. You know, he's got to watch his temps.
Yeah.
That is a real thing. So, you know, this is not like him to be this far back, especially this early. You know, he's generally up front, wanting the lead by now.
Yeah.
So
Puts him in a hole
he's about
here.
30. I'd say he's about 30 positions back from where he should be or wants to be. And yeah, you know, definitely not the night he's wanted so far.
And speaking of, we got a fan club out there. It is the cow truck, by the way. We confirmed that last week there, Caleb. So it is a cow, not a horse. Wayne confirmed it for us, but he's got a fan club out there. Go Chapman. Wayno is what they're calling him. But Wayne Chapman III, as he sees that 3 wide battle in front of him, is he going to try to make it 4 wide? Well, actually, 4 wide in front of him there. Oh, I got a truck goes down low, but they're racy right there in front of him.
Yeah, and I I had said it last week. I made a joke if he won, he'd get a steak. But
Moo moo.
I mean, I feel like if you win a race, a nice, decent sized steak is worth it.
Yeah. All right, Chris, hint. Chris right there in front of him, by the way. So, hint, Chris, there you go. Giving out steaks, man, for the winners. Too wide behind him. Wow, that's Wayne there with Tuck, Moyer.
While we're on the topic of that, this season, we have our sponsors, on board. We have real life sponsors, and one of them is Uniformity. They will be making race patches, like race win patches, for each winner of the season. With the track, driver, team, basically that's their trophy for winning races. So every winner of the season will get a patch at the end of the season, thanks to Uniformity. And our title sponsor, Sports Academy Youth Flag Football and Sports Academy Foundation, which is on the 22 truck of Abram Ghost.
You're right there, yeah.
Yep. So, big thanks to him and, Sports Academy for, putting their faith into the league. I feel like every week it's been fairly decent. Everyone, we enjoy it. I enjoy commentating.
Pit stop too, by the way.
We're having pit stop right now.
Yeah, leader's up here, so he's probably pretty scheduled right now. You see, Kenny Grant early on there. Horn came in on pit road. So see when Ghost is one of those who usually goes a long time before pit. He's one of those that likes taking the long pit strategy.
I understand wanting to go long, but I feel like that only works in leagues where there's a lot of cautions, or races where there's a lot of cautions. Because as these drivers start to come in, Honeycutt's pitting now. But when you have a lot of cautions, sometimes the drivers can, make contact. That's how cautions come out, and then it jumps the field back together. In a league like this, where it's the clean racing league.
In the name, as well as yep.
I'd say it's in the name. Other than the caution we had on the first lap, which I can't remember. Other than IRP, I can't remember the last time we had a first lap caution.
Yeah, I mean, it is rare, and it's racing, obviously, folks. It happens. Things out there, things slip and whatnot, and Ghost does come on pit road, so doesn't stay too far out there. Trask coming in with him, too, here. So that's going to lead the lead over to this man, Rob Sherwood. He's another one that likes to take that long pit strategy. He's got, so the top 4 have yet to make a pit stop, actually be about the top. Yeah, there's a couple more out there, too, they haven't cycled through. Nathan Brown hasn't made one, and I see Bob Stevens is another one hasn't made one. So 6 drivers right now have not made their pit stops.
I know Rob Sherwood runs.
My bad.
8.
Told you wrong. 13 drivers in pit stop.
I know Sherwood runs a telemetry, on top of his iRacing overlay that will, and most of these drivers do. I know I did when I raced. That would tell you. Oh wow, that was very hot on the entry there for Brown. But yeah, these telemetry services will tell you exactly when you need to pit.
Oh,
and
it's a killer.
Oh, we had to back up twice.
I'm sorry. interrupt you there while you call it. Nathan Brown always has wild paint jobs, and I see the camel towing on the side, and not to be overly, I guess we're going to go 18 plus, but I could see him going camel toe towing on his truck. That would be just something that Nathan would have. I don't know.
That's a fun play on words.
Yeah. And I've seen him do it before. When I saw the camel toe it brought to mind. Only reason is because there's the only dads team. Is that what they call themselves?
Yeah, and subscriber motorsports.
Yeah, there you go. So so folks, I mean, not to provocative or anything, trying to be friendly, but I just like what Caleb said, play on words. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
Oh no, you're good. Look, listen. I think we can all appreciate the funny schemes. Like we go to the 88 at Evan the jump man. He's right in front of Nathan Brown. But the jump man on the side is not the jump man. It is an inflated jump man with a beer jug.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hopefully I got my side view. Now, I've got the top. There we go. Okay, it's a overly sized man. If I want to say what I really want to say, but I'll say overly sized, just so people out there with a beer mug. Okay, gotcha.
That look. if we're going on like clever schemes and funny paint schemes, only dads driver motorsports. They take the cake for that one. Because I remember seeing that truck for the first time before the season started, and I was just laughing because of the jump man on the side. It's hilarious, and I think everyone appreciates the schemes, but that doesn't take away from some of the more serious paint schemes.
Oh yeah, I mean we got that, and then I mean just one in particular comes up obviously is Altus who runs Sinvar Solar out here, and that's a company he actually works for. He's on pit road right there, so like you said, we go from the one extreme to the other basically. Sponsorships has been a big thing in sim racing ever since I've started in the broadcast side of things. I've seen it grow. I've seen it become a big thing. We talk about like the Sports Academy here, sponsoring the leagues. There's multiple other leagues out there, so it's becoming big, Caleb. Sponsors.
Yeah, and I never would have thought it would have gotten to this point. I don't think anyone did. But I mean, this is where we're at, and I think everyone's excited for what's happening at the current moment and what's going to happen in the future. Because I mean, we're not stopping anytime soon. We're only going to keep going, and it's only going to keep growing.
Absolutely. Got Kenny out front, Grant right there with him. Ghost hanging on the third as the pit stops to cycle through. Jordan Trask, seeing if he can't run down. Ghost in the fourth place spot there. Crank Bell, who won last week, punched himself a ticket into the playoffs. As of right now, sitting in the fifth place spot with Tyler Honeycutt back there in sixth. Eric Anderson having a good run so far, but he's got old Collins up underneath him. That's a battle for seventh and eighth place, heating up. Jamie Horn there in ninth, and then Bryson Clark rounds the top 10.
Yeah, and so Kenny's got a 1 second lead over Durant, and I'm not really seeing any movement on the telemetry side. Well, I mean, I guess it's going down now because it went from 1.1 now down to 0.9. But Abrams really not catching the 22 truck.
Staying pretty even.
But I mean, the 19's catching the 88, which would be our battle for the lead. yeah, I mean, and Jordan Trask in fourth, the 79 truck. I mean, we've seen him, almost spin out on lap one.
Hit the wall a couple times.
Yeah, we've seen him hit the wall a few times, and now he's running fourth, up 3 positions from where he started. And Tyler Honeycutt, he's -3 from where he started, but he's still running top 5.
The consistency, we've seen it time and time again. When we talk about Evan Kinney up here leading, as Ghost actually falls back there to the third. Kinney's still out front in this one. Baker Grant right there in second. He's trying the gap though between them, man, kind of maintain a little bit of second, a little over a second there between them. We'll go right back here again to around about 7th place spot, because that's 7th, 8th, and on back. That's where a lot of this action's going on. You got some side-by-side racing.
Yeah, and you see how Sherwood kind of fell back a little bit after his pit stop, because I feel like he was kind of up there a little bit before the pit stop. Maybe he could have waited a little bit too long to make his pit stop, and now he's kind of back here in traffic battling.
Shows you how hard it is to pass here and how hard it is to come through the field, even with a fast truck like Sherwood has. It still takes about a lap or so to get around the truck, even though you might be quicker than they are. That's just one of these things here at Auto Club. As you see, Ghost falls back to the 4th place spot. Still Sherwood trying to move up through the field. You got Collins right there along with it, Eric Anderson. You got Clark. Persley's in that mix. You got about 5 or 6 machines right there.
Yeah, and they're fighting. You can see them trying to go where another truck isn't. And especially on a track like this, dirty air plays such a huge role, and you can see, like, I'll explain it for everyone watching. So if the 93 truck were to go down to the low side, and the truck behind him, I can't see the number, but if the truck behind him were to follow him, the air would push the truck behind him up, and then the truck that's behind him would do the same thing. It just creates this draft, and it pushes everything up. So like when you see all these trucks fighting for where another truck isn't, and they're starting to fan out, it's because the air is moving around, and they're trying to find places where the truck isn't going to be. So that was always a big thing for me when I was racing. Even if it was a foot off the car in front, it was just being another lane up, or another lane down. If he's running the middle, don't run the middle, because that just hurts your chances, unless you're on significantly faster tires, or your setup, which we don't run setups here, it's fixed setups. So the only thing you can change is brake balance and your steering offset.
And iRacing does a very good job with the dirty air. I've talked about side drafting, does a really good job. The only thing that I've said, and obviously we talked about it last week at Daytona, was the draft package. I think maybe on some of that aspects, but not much of a factor here like it was last week. Yeah, draft plays a little bit here, but I think the dirty air kind of trumps that more than anything, like what you talked about it, and like what you said with it, trying to get around that truck. You might be quicker, get in that air, and you just got to find a way to get around him. You see Eric Anderson hanging on there with Persley. And Jamie Horns, the one that's a little bit loser on the pit stops there, dropped back to 14th place spot. Like Tuck and Company back here too, around about 19th. Kind of looking on the far back. Wayne Chapman's giving an update. He's at 27. And Cal Machine, old Garcia. Love seeing old Garcia out here. He's rocking the CleanRacingLeague.com truck. Go check out CleanRacingLeague.com. Get you up to speed on everything that's going on here in the league and what's happening, and sponsors, schedule, and so forth. Unfortunately, the probably one of the hardest ones here tonight, Lane Hoosler, involved in the wreck early on, still on pit road. Not the night that he wanted here. As you see, Paul Turner lap down with Jordan Brockle along with it in the back, but so far, so good for Evan Kinney. He started out front. He's still out front. and got a pretty good lead here, Caleb. A 1.74 here over Jacob Grant, who's got a little breathing room over Jordan Trask and Company.
Yeah, and the last time we were here, I brought it up at the beginning of the broadcast, right before the race started. But the fight for the race win last time we were here was Evan Kinney and Jacob Grant, and Jacob ended up winning. So maybe this is a little bit redemption for Kinney if he can hold on.
Yeah. Right now he's looking strong out front, so just got to keep that pit strategy up, I believe. Don't want to get behind on the 8 ball there. Even if there's a caution or whatnot, I still think there's still, even with that early caution we had, lap 1, I still think these guys are still in their same pit strategies. And we've talked about this in the past here too, Caleb, with the Clean Racing League. I feel a lot of these guys coming in, when doing their pit strategies, have to be in the mentality, or don't have to be in the mentality, but most of them probably be in the mentality of this thing's going to go green, because we have so many green flag races in this league. It all depends on unless you're talking about a really, really short style track, most of the time you're going to say, okay, this thing's going to go green. And then if a caution happens, you maybe change it up a little bit. But, sometimes guys might say, okay, we're going to have one caution. This is what I'm going to do in my strategy. But here, I feel like you just go, no, it's going to go green. This is how I got to pick my strategy.
Yeah, I know every time I raced, it was banking on a caution. When I started racing in this series, you couldn't do that because it never happened. And it really shakes up what some of these drivers do, because some of these drivers are they don't have a lot of experience making green flag pit stops, and sometimes we'll see it on the pit counter with the timer. It can be like a 1 second difference, and that can really change the trajectory of where the race is going to go, just because of maybe you were too slow on your entry. Not really the pit road speed, because that's a constant. It's 45 miles an hour, 55, whatever it is at the track. But being aggressive on the pit entry and pit exit, can really change your race and propel you forward to gaining some spots or losing it, depending on how good you are at it. But some of these drivers, they get used to pitting under yellow, and they're not used to making green flag stops. And that just goes back to what I was saying. This series doesn't really have a lot of yellow flags, which is kind of why I was kind of shocked that we had one on lap 1. I knew they were going to fan out. I knew they were all going to go different places on the racetrack. I just didn't think it was going to be that early.
And you were talking about like how hard it was. You saw Rob Sherwood early on, very fast truck, was able to come to the field, but kind of a little slip up there on his pit stops, got him behind on the 8 ball a little bit, and it's taken this much time for him to get back up there to even 6th place spot, and he is still 4 seconds back. And to make up 4 seconds here, you're going to need a caution. You're not as quick as he is. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say it. He's not going to run down Evan Kinney. He would run out of time at the end of the race. That's why I say track position is really, really crucial here a lot of times. So what you were just alluding to, if you come out of the pits, that pit stop is very important. You make one little slip, one little mistake, and it can hurt you. It looks like we're having some more pit stops here. Jacob Grant, Honeycutt, Ghost, Bell coming on pit road, and might be early for those guys.
Actually, I think it's on time.
Well, remember, Ghost was later than a lot of these guys last time.
So they're pitting here at lap 20. No, not 20. Sorry,
49. Yeah. They pitted at lap 29, 27 on some of these guys.
Yeah, that checks out then. So that would pretty much run the race to a 3-stop, which is probably the most pit stop we've seen in a race in a while here in the series, because generally it's been like 1 or
So that's going to bring up the question. Well, no, still never mind that because Rob Sherwood, it's still going to be a 3 pit stop. Even him pitting at lap 29 and then Justin Durant pitting at 31, they're still not going to be able to make it. They would have to go to lap 70. I just don't see them making it to lap 70.
No, that would hurt your race more than it would help it. Especially when all these drivers have all these fresh tires and everything. It's just not worth it.
Leader on pit road, Kenny, right now, so he's pitting here at lap 50, and I think I'm with you. I think what we're going to see now, that's going to bring up the next conversation here about this track, and this is basically an auto club thing, because we talk about how track position is so crucial, is when you take this last pit stop, you've got to have a fine line with it. One, you don't want to make it too late. You don't want to make it too early. But you do want to make it early enough to where if you do get a little behind, that you have enough time to make up some of that track position. Because if you do get behind and you made it late, you're just going to run out of time. We talked about that before. So it really is going to be interesting when these last pit stops are done. I feel like 70, 75, you might want to come in, because if you try to take this thing to say like lap 85 or so, that might be a little bit too late. Just by how Auto Club works.
So
got turned around. Caution though. Wow, great bell. Last week's winner.
Oh.
Wow, let's go back and watch and see what happened here, Caleb.
I see there's a Abram Ghost right there on the high side.
Yeah, maybe hopefully when him and him get together, well, yeah, it looks like it's going to be. Him and him got together, and oh man, Bell hard on the wall. I'm gonna say on a limb, just two guys taking up the same real estate.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean,
yeah.
That's you kind of see in the 22, you know, he kind of was going down, and you know the 14. This is gonna be my Formula One commentator moment. He's entitled to the room. I feel like he got squeezed a little bit. You know, he has to come up to make the corner. But at the same time,
a little early to be squeezing. Now, last lap I could see probably keeping a guy down there, but yeah, a little early maybe. But yeah, I'm with you on it.
But you know, at the same time, he was up there racing for the lead. He was up there battling the top 5. He's got to go. He knows he's battling Crank Bell, who's kind of been a little bit further back in the race, this race. He's got to go. He can't be wasting time with the 14, and I guess that's kind of why he squeezed him, kind of peel off some of his momentum.
Again, this here is going to, I think, throw. I'm looking back here. I mean, yeah, we got the top 16 come on pit road, but there's going to be some drivers that not come on pit road. So some guys are going to be marred back in traffic. Most notably, Sherwood, you know, Traz. Some of the guys who were up front there. Maybe just a, you know, I know they might, if there was going to be a caution, I think that might have been a little bit untimely. And they would have liked for it to have been a couple laps later. And that would have put them in the cycle, but maybe Sherwood won't be too bad here. He's coming back out. It looks like it's going to be an 8, so he might have dodged a bullet.
I will say the big winner for that caution is definitely Joshua Altus in the 94. I mean, he's sitting 11th at the moment.
Yeah.
He was 31st when we last looked at him.
Said earlier, remember, he's going to need some help to get back up front, and this is helping. Kind of unusual because we don't really see, like we go back, we don't really see a lot of cautions here at this track. So it is. I mean, praying right now. Hey, look, I got some help I needed.
Yeah. It appears we have a driver in the interview. He just kind of popped up. It's a 61
That's
of
Lane.
Lane. So I don't know if he wants to do something. He's there.
Well, against my better judgment, as long as he's not coming up being mad, we'll bring him up. Get a word with him. Hey, enjoying the booth, got copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. What's going on?
Well, I just saw you down there in the interview room. Didn't know if your night didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Kind of got caught up in a little bit of incident early on, and sometimes it's just racing.
Yeah, kind of just one of those things. Just trying to take it easy. Figured lap one, everybody be taking it easy. Ended up overestimating everybody's ability to slow down. I feel bad about everybody that got involved in that. I know Josh didn't mean to run in the back of me. It just kind of happened. One of those things.
Yeah, I mean, we watched the replay. Unfortunately, Trask got down there and got loose, and then you had to check up. And when we call it an accordion effect, and just unfortunate, man, for you tonight, got you in the hole. But well, the good news is it's only second race of the season. The bad news is not the night you wanted, but at least you can bounce back and still have another shot, man, to get in that playoffs.
That's the hope, yeah. Like you said, it's a pretty long season. Got a lot of races to go. Should have a pretty good opportunity here in the next few weeks to get locked into the playoffs and hopefully make a deep run into it.
There you go, man. Fortunate night there for Huslers. We're going to get set here to go back green. Pace trucks in. Caleb, here we go. Green flag tonight. Evan Kinney, Jacob Grant company out front in this one. Everybody's made their pit stops, and we're back up here to side-by-side racing, and this is what we talked about. You got to get what you can get early.
Yeah, and I mean, let's talk about a driver we haven't really seen at all tonight. The two of Justin Durant. He's currently sitting fourth. We haven't really seen him at all, and then there he is.
Nice. And Parker Collins. Tuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got Sherwood. Trask kind of lost a few positions off that. Justin Durant is up 33 positions from where he started. So that would probably be why we haven't seen him tonight.
Well, Durant right now is trying to do everything he can on that 3-wide move on the bottom down there with Honeycutt. So he's trying to make up every little bit he possibly can. Coming to the front, he's right there in third place. Kenny's up front battling for his life with Jacob Grant. Those two guys had a heck of a battle last time we were here. But here comes Durant, doing everything he possibly can with Collins and company up there. Tuck and company too. Like we said, these new tires, you've got to capitalize with them. You don't want to overuse them though, because you still need a little bit as the run goes on.
Absolutely, and I mean they still have to make another pit stop. You only get 4 sets of Goodyears. Oh wow, that was a big move by 19, blocking the 2 there. He's just not allowing any truck to get past. He doesn't want to add another truck to his battle, and I don't blame him.
It is side by side. It is tooth and nail right now. Look at Kenny come up down the back end of Grant, and you see Durant back there too, hanging the third. But Kenny says, "I want to lead. I want out front because I feel like I don't blame him because that's the place to be here at this track."
Yeah, we were talking about earlier the dirty air, and how crucial it is. You can kind of see the trucks kind of start sliding up a little bit. The 9 of Honeycutt, you can kind of see back there battling with Altus. He fell back way back.
Irwood benefited from this too. Look at this.
Yeah, and if I'm Kenny right now, I wouldn't say I'm fuming, but he had the lead. The lead was his, and now he's seeing these drivers drive off, and he can't do anything about it. He's just gonna have to kind of
look at that drive in the turn. Wow, I'm surprised that truck. Well, that's basically new tires right there. Older tires, that truck would have got tight real quick, and he probably would have lost some positions. Going in that deep.
Yeah, I mean, and plus these drivers have varying driving styles. You know, you see some with aggressive driving styles, and then you see some with more conservative driving styles. Sherwood obviously went the deepest out of everyone there in the turn 3, and we might see it here again.
And I believe what he's trying to do is trying to clear those machines he knows being down 4 wide. Yeah, you got Trask high, Sherwood's there, Collins there. Come out of the out of the turn. Woo, Caleb, hang on to your seat, man. This one's getting exciting up front.
Yeah, I was going to say Jacob Grant making a move to the inside of the 2 with Kenny behind. I mean, you see him sideways coming up the corner. I just want these drivers to know we still have 40 laps to go.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah, they're driving like it's the green light checker. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Exciting for us, nerve-wracking for them. Yeah.
I say the 19 is falling back. Kenny pushed the 2 past him, and now that's allowed Kenny to get second. So now we're kind of seeing this jostling for position in 79 back into the wall. I think he kind of had a little bit of help there, but you know they are everywhere right now.
And you know what? This is right here. If you're a conservative driver, this is kind of a problem for you because you have to drive like this at this track. If you try to play conservative, you're going to fall back. So I know it's nerve-wracking for the drivers up there. Durant takes the lead and holding on to it. Mike Haynes, 2 drivers I haven't really talked about much in the race, but found themselves out front with Evan Kenny right there. But we're watching this wild battle here with Colin, Sherwood, Traz, and company. I mean, you've got to keep the hammer down, even though you might say, oh, man, I want to get out of this mess. I want to be careful, but you can't. You got to stay up there.
It's
unless you want to be in the far back.
No, you definitely don't want to be. But like, I'm sitting here and I'm watching the drivers up there, the 24 and the 2, kind of battle there. I seen the 2 come down to side draft the 24 before going back up and cutting into the corner. He's just trying to slow him down as much as possible so he can get that run. And now they're just kind of swapping between the low side and the high side. Are they eating up their tires? Yeah. Is it entertaining? Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see as the laps go on. You can see them starting to get single file now. How much of the tires will fall off? You see Durant now right there, still on the bottom lane. I think being with the 24 with Haynes is might be where he wants to be, with Kenny right behind him. And if Kenny pushes up to his back end and maybe pushes him along, I don't think that weaving around here on iRacing works too much. I know in real life what it's supposed to do, but I don't know about iRacing. I think it maybe hurts you more than it actually helps you. I've had guys talk about that.
It actually, on tracks like this, it helps a little bit because instead of having that driver, if the driver is behind you and you're staying in a straight line, they are bumper to bumper, side by side right now. That is insane how close they are. But yeah, no, if you stay in the straight line and you have that truck behind you, you're going to suck up right to the back of that truck, or the truck's going to suck up to you. If you go down to the low side and he has to follow you, now you kind of cut that draft time off a little bit, and you're still keeping the same speed. You're just kind of going down the track a little bit. He has to follow you if he wants to. So basically, you're just dictating where the truck behind you is going to go.
Now, are they teammates there, Haynes and Durant?
No, so
looks like they're kind of working together. That's why I was asking.
I don't think they have anywhere to go.
Okay.
But
look at Altus, man. I look at Altus, man, up here to 7th. So he's making the best of the situation he was, or the cards he was dealt early on in the race, and he is actually coming to the front.
Yeah, and I mean a beautiful recovery drive. We've seen him down pit road quite a few times, and he's got Grant behind him, pushing aggressively. You can see the car wiggling behind him, or the truck, I'm sorry. And yeah, I mean the fact that we still have all these trucks clustered together like this, and we're on a what is that, like an 8-lap, 10-lap run?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's definitely the longest run we've had with this many trucks together. And
Yeah,
I think
still-
they know that.
I still bring up that conversation of when do you pit, because I know a lot of these guys might be looking at. I still say that pit window is right there at 75 or 78. If you go much longer than that, I think you're just going to run out of time, especially if you get marred back in traffic. If you're able to come back out front, it might be beneficial, but if you're back in traffic, I just don't think enough.
So the way I'm seeing it is, so if you go 5 laps early, you hit lap 70, you make it a 30-lap run. Yeah, you'll have jump and you'll have that lead when everyone pits, but then your tires are going to be weaker at the end. You pit lap 75, that's kind of a sweet spot. You don't have to go as long. If you pit lap 80, it kind of becomes a problem. Because you have to go longer in this run, you're going to put yourself back to the cars that have already pitted, and but you're going to have amazing short run speed, unless a caution comes out, and then that kind of doubles everything up.
93. I sure would. For you,
No, that's the
said
98.
what happened to 93,
No, that's
33,
98.
98.
Yeah, no, that's more.
Jamie?
Yeah.
That one. I know we got caught in one of those pit cycles, and he's just not been able to get the right luck, and unfortunately, he's off the pace back here in 25th spot. Again, we just go back to one of those deals with the track. Yeah, he kind of got caught on one of those pit cycles and got caught marred back in traffic. And if it happens here, we talked about it a million times. You've got to have some luck. You've got to have some things happen your way to get back up through the field. This is not one of these tracks where you're going to see a guy in 20th spot come just running through the field. It's just one of the tracks when you get marred back, boom. So I feel like unless he gets a caution, unfortunate for him tonight. Unlike Altus, who has had some luck on his side to be able to get back up here, and now he's caught this pack that is still racing for the lead up here, Caleb, and unbelievable. He's got a shot to win this race.
Yeah, I mean, him and about 5 other trucks at the moment. You could literally put a blanket, like a throw blanket, on top of every single one of these drivers right now. That's
a good front row seat to show you.
Yeah, and earlier, when we were talking about the dirty air, when they were in that corner, they were staggered in each lane. If that doesn't tell you how tight the trucks are getting because they're trying to find clean air, you can't look at it any better. And they're all on the highway now.
No, I mean, you're right there. You Sherwood out front, Haynes is along there with them. Durant, they have definitely capitalized on this good track position that they've got. Now it's just going to come down to, I feel like, when do you make that first pit? So when do you make this last pit stop here? When do you come in? And do you come in early? Do you come in late? If you make it wrong, you could obviously sacrifice some track position. Durant and Haynes have been able to get lucky on that caution and get up here and get the track position. Sherwood's made the best of it out front. Traz and Kenny have definitely been up front all night long. And Altus, he's just said, look, I'm going to get before Lee Clover out because I was in a hole, and now I'm up here battling I'm obviously in position to try to win this thing.
Yeah, and with the way the tires are now, and I think we're about to start seeing some pit stops here within the next 3 laps. I think in the position we're in now, it is a chess game, or a chess match, as you would.
It is, yeah.
After position with our... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, you see Jacob Grant coming in first, and a lot of them coming in. And what I'm saying is, if you're the leader up here, that's crucial. Because, like you said, if you come in too early, you come in too late, you give up that track position, and it's so important up here. And You know, we do have some pit stops. You see Chapman and Grant are one of the ones coming in pit road right now. So a couple coming on pit road here. So I'm curious. Altus around. Are you kidding me? With Kenny. That's going to bring the caution, and that's pretty much going to take the pit strategy window stuff we was talking about out. As Joshua Altus, man, we got to go back and watch. I didn't see what happened. Actually, he was a little further on back. Did he get a little help?
It looks like he was pushing him a little bit too hard, and he just kind of got...
Oh, he got a bump draft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. He had a run. The bump draft at the wrong time. Normally we talk about that in Talladega or Daytona. Bump drafting in a turn. We'll go back and watch it one more time. But are you kidding me? Wow. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and go and say it. Broadcaster's jinx. We were talking about him too much, Caleb, and all that time, and now just boom, just like that. That's just unfortunate. So next time, don't quit talking about him.
No, he's a two-time champion. He can
well, he's a two-time champion. We don't want to jinx him.
Yeah, listen. It is our job to talk about the drivers and what's happening in the racetrack. Amazing performance by the 94.
We still jinxed him.
You know, we'll talk to him afterwards. But like, we'll see.
It's the broadcast.
We don't have to.
You haven't been up in the broadcast long. We call it the broadcast jinx. Any time that you start celebrating, and I've had this happen. This is no lie. I've had this happen a million times. You know, there's a little. Got stopped. I've seen it a lot of times, and you get up there, you get excited, start talking about a driver, blah blah blah, and then something happens. Man, come on. Anyway. Well, this kind of takes the pit stop strategy out the window now. Now it's going to be a matter of who's going to get off on pit road first. And track position. It looks like Jacob Grant is actually going to get that. Jeff Herman did not pit. Sherwood gets off the track there first in front of these guys with Trask. Durant back there in 5th. Kenny 6th. Collins 7th. Persley 8th. Haynes 9th. Tuck 10th. So let's see some of the winners and losers on this one. Honeycutt unfortunately back at 21st. So man, that's not. And Jamie Horn's still there in 23rd. Altus unfortunately 27th. Ghost not been able to bounce back either. He's back in 32nd spot. Wayne back in 33rd. So those are kind of the ones that got hurt on the pit stops I'm seeing right now. Maybe some of the ones who still maintain. Grant, Sherwood, Trask, Durant, Kenny. You know, the guys up front there.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know. Like I'm trying to like run all these scenarios in my head.
Wow, wait a minute. Grant's on pit road. How about that? You're giving up a ton of positions. What do you think about that stop?
You said Grant went back down.
He's back on pit road. Yeah, I don't know why. He could have theoretically made it. Because he pitted right before that caution. And we know, I mean, the tires are not going to help him. Because he's going to be on the same amount of time. He's out.
I wonder if it's a fuel thing. Yeah.
He pitted right before that caution. He should have had enough, shouldn't he?
Yeah, if he pitted prior and couldn't have made it on fuel, that's kind of a what are you doing decision.
I agree with you that one. I mean, because now I scratch my head on that one, but he did pit right before. Pretty sure he pitted right before that caution because he was one of the ones. Remember, I said Grant was on pit road and all. Because with this call here, now I'm not saying if we don't get a couple more cautions, we're getting set to go green, that he can't make up some ground. But if we go green the rest of the way, You pretty much just put yourself in a hole back there that not gonna be, it's gonna be a very, very, very big hill to climb out of. But either way, pace truck's in. Sherwood Company up front. Trav there with him. Green flag. We're back racing, Caleb.
Yeah, and that, you know, that was a very well-timed jump by the 93 of Robert Sherwood. You know, he really needed to get in front of the 79, sorry, because the 88 of Evan Kinney is behind him. He allows that inside lane to, oh wow, they are getting aggressive already.
Yeah, that was Collins in the back.
Oh,
Durant, we got a truck around. That's Haynes and Kenny.
Oh,
Are
no.
you kidding? Wow.
You know what? I will say maybe we did jinx the cautions.
Well,
Maybe.
no caution on that because they're off the track. Yeah, I mean, but let's go back and watch it. Unfortunately, right there, I think it was a product of what we saw up there. Those guys were just getting very aggressive. And again, another kind of checkup, a 3 wide right here. Yeah, you saw the little bump draft right there behind. Kenny nowhere to go. He just kind of ricocheted off. And unfortunate, him and the 24 machine. And what's more unfortunate for them is they're out of the threshold of iRacing to get a caution thrown. So their night is done. Wow, we have seen some crazy, chaotic stuff happen here in Auto Club for some big name drivers. And now we got a caution. For what? Okay.
Even if the caution.
Wait a minute.
Is that Spinelli?
Yeah, that might be Spinelli, but oh yeah, the 16 wow. Around. Oh, and then he gets clobbered. What's that? The 86? Is that Spinelli? It sure is. Look, we got to ride on board with him because his hood's like flapping, whapping. Board with him.
So the 89 just kind of pinches the 16 down and absolutely nowhere to go.
Look at the hood. Can't see nothing, guys.
Well, you can see by the steering inputs, his right front is like disconnected.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
And the motor's all tore up because it's hardly running. The RPM's barely going. The hood, he's going like, it don't matter. I can't hardly go anywhere. I can't see nothing. I can't do nothing.
Yeah. So Steve Gerber, was the 16. And then the 89 was Bryson Clark. It kind of looked like he pinched the 16 down, like we'll see it right there.
Yeah, we saw it earlier, yeah. And then he just spun up the track and nowhere for him to go there.
Yeah, this is,
Well, hey, good news. Good news, bad news. Well, maybe not really, really good news. Let's fix to say because nobody's coming in. Jacob Grant back pit road again. Why? Which I guess he ain't got nothing to lose at this point. I mean, he's back in 23rd anyways, but tires, I don't think tires going to help him. It's only been a couple laps. I was hoping maybe we'd have a lot of guys in the front come on pit road, and maybe that would help Jacob to get back up. I was about to say good news on that. It's too early, and it goes back to that conversation we were talking about pretty much the entire race. Track was I mean, if I'm Rob Sherwood, there's no way I'm giving up track position unless the entire field behind me comes in. But if 10 trucks stays out and we got 10 laps to go, I'm not coming in if I'm the leader. No, I'm going to take the chance at that point.
So what I'm kind of paying attention to now is you only get 4 extra sets of tires. So 5 total in the race. You only get 4. If Jacob Grant just came in, the number 19,
he did take 4, by the way.
So that is his last set of tires because he made 1 around lap 25. He pitted around lap 50, pitted at lap 70, came in for fuel, and then just took his last set. So if it comes down to a green-white checker, he has no more tires remaining at all. So what he's got to make it work for the remaining 20 laps, 19 laps. Yeah.
Everybody
So,
mostly pitted on lap 75 up front. We've seen them go anywhere between 25 and about 27 to around 30 laps is what we've seen. So I think everybody from the point up is good as far as fuel-wise goes to make it through the green, white checkers. We only have 2 here. Tires, I'm like you. The tires would be then the question whether or not you want to trust them to go that long through a green, white checker. So we'll have to see. Lights off on the pace truck, and then it's just been a wild night. You might want to check outside, see if it's a full moon, because we've had some up and down here. One being up, Justin Durant up front there, 33 spots. Stephen Tuck there in 5th. He's up 25. Unfortunately, Jacob Grant down. Joshua Altus down, and Lane Hoosler and Evan Kinney. I mean, 4 drivers right there who were very dominant early on in the race and up front. Trouble for them here tonight.
yeah, it's just unfortunate, but that's just how racing is sometimes. It's an unfortunate sport. Things happen. But now we're focused to the end of this race that Rob Sherwood's going to lose back to green, the restart zone.
Yes, he is.
And a
flag.
big jump.
Yeah, he's been able to get those good jumps out front of this field. You see Pursley right there too. Another truck looking to see if he can't get one. Now, now you've got to be a little bit aggressive to try to get to the positions that you want. As you see, Durant unfortunately gets split right there in the middle. Here comes Trask. That guy has just been able to just overcome adversity tonight. I mean, that truck has not been what he has wanted.
No, I mean, we've seen him bounce off the wall. We've seen him on the apron. We've pretty much seen him everywhere tonight. And, now he's battling for the lead with Sherwood. He's got Pursley on his outside, and he's got Durant behind him with the 87 below him. And, that's our top 5. But, Sherwood, as long as he's got to make it the widest truck in California.
He does.
He cannot allow anyone to get around him. He's got to put his truck where he thinks the fastest truck behind him is going to be. So if that's the high lane, put your truck there. That's about all you can do. But if he can he can now.
You say that, here comes Pursley. Pursley's going to try to make that move to the inside. You see Sherwood still protecting it right there on the outside. Pursley's going to look to the outside. Sherwood goes along with him. You can see he is definitely, just playing the factor up front here to try to stay out front, because he knows, the track position is key. But Pursley's still trying to keep him honest. Battle behind him there for 3rd and 4th. Trask Durant.
Yeah, and you see Sherwood putting his truck in the middle of the racetrack. He's making Pursley choose where he wants him to go, right? So he can't go the middle. He's either going to have to pick the low side or the high side, and he better hopes he picks right, which I think he did, make it stick, and he couldn't.
Right there on the back end, you see Trask trying to come back up here and fight a little bit with him. It's Durant back in 4th place spot. Those 2 guys are going to go at it. You got Collins hanging on the 5th. Stephen Tuck up to 6th right here with Gardner. Also 2 there in 7th. Moyer in 8th. Eric Anderson bouncing back up into 9th. Nathan Brown having a good run up 17 spots in 10th. Jamie Orn, he's able to turn it around. Had a little bit of luck. Got back up to 11th. So his night's not done yet. But still, this is the battle for the lead. Sherwood's got it. Yellow flag is out.
15 to go, and it is Murphy, the 18 car.
Go back and see what happened to Murphy. I've got a feeling he just check up in front to 29. Went around. Who's the 29? That is Curtis.
So I don't think that was too bad. And, there's Altus, and you got Grant.
Oh, yeah. I think it's just another product of here just checking up. Maybe early on we saw just got the run off the turn, and unfortunate. I think the closing rate on this track is just so huge. And we're just seeing that tonight. Guys are just closing in, and it's not taking much to bring them around. The spin early here. Caution now. What do you do, Caleb? Do you stay out? Do you pit?
So Sherwood's in a very unfortunate spot where he sits.
Yes, he is.
He he is pretty much going to dictate what's going to happen here. If he pits, no one behind him is going to go.
Right, right.
If he doesn't, everyone's going to go. Basically, it's do whatever the opposite, do the opposite of whatever the leader does. So you know, you kind of see Persley down there, kind of, you know, flirting with it.
Oh no! He got a few of them to come with him. We got a lot to come with him. So this might pay off then. He got quite a few to come. Persley didn't. Durant, Tuck, Gardner, and Jacob. And so let's break it down. It's going to be less than 10 to go when we go back green. Bob Sherwood could come back out, still being in 7th place spot, 8th place spot that is. So we didn't lose too much ground if he stays where he's at here. Still could be tricky. He's going to come out. He's going to be an 8th. He's going to have to use those tires up. I mean, there is no saving at this point because he's going to need the one thing that will hurt Sherwood, let's just say right now, is him getting trapped behind 2 guys or 3 guys, 3 wide or double file battling. If he gets trapped behind them, he's got to go. He has got to go.
If he is, you said he's in 8th place, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he'll be starting on the outside lane in the fourth row. If he can get the jump, if the outside lane can get going, which all these trucks, can get going in front of them, they're gonna have older tires. You know, you see Spinelli in front right there. I think he might be pitting though, because he's a lap down. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, who benefited from this and might be in a good spot there is Jacob Grant. Remember, he pitted at lap 80, so he's only 7 lap older tires. He's not that far off when it comes to like Sherwood and them with tire-wise, so I don't think he's going to be in that bad of a position. But his night's not done. Remember early on we said it probably was, but this is exactly what he needed right here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you know, we've kind of seen some of these drivers, well, most of them now with these past pit stops, they've taken their last set of tires. You know, except for these 7 cars, 7 trucks that are, you know, already gridded up. I believe we're going green this time. Lights are off. So,
if you're a gambling man, you probably done lost a lot of money on this race. Because the drivers that you probably would think would win have had some bad nights. This has been a wild race.
It has, and you know,
not taking away anything from any other driver, but I mean, if you look at the field, you're like, wow, you know, crazy night.
If you looked at the standings on lap 25 to where they are now, it's a 180 of what it was.
Because look at that top 4 there, Caleb. 13 up, 24, 34 up, 28 up, 22 up. So the top 4 really hard chargers. We're going back green. We're not done with this one yet here, folks. Clean Racing League here tonight, Auto Club. Green flag, Persley and Company up front. Who's going to settle this one here? As you see, the guys get a good jump, and that's what Sherwood did not need back there. As Ryan kind of didn't get going, and that's what we was talking about. If he doesn't go, these guys get battled, he gets caught. It's just very tough to pass here.
Yeah, and you know, as soon as, you know, when you have older tires restarting the field, you know, you kind of get this jumbled up mess of a restart, and you know, you kind of seen it in the back, the truck kind of swerving everywhere. You know, hopefully there's no penalties that have to be served back there because of that. But you know, definitely not what Sherwood needed. He needed everyone to get off the line as fast as possible. But I mean, he's still right there.
Yeah, but he don't need Trask, and that's just what the guys up here want to see. Trask get up our battle, and he's on the same set of tires with him. So Trask too there. You see Grant though making up and ground. He's on the inside trying to get as positions as he can, battle for the lead. Persley and Durant going to go side by side. You see, or excuse me, Persley and Durant, yeah, they're going side by side. You see Grant and Tuck back there. They got a side by side. Gardner's all alone watching this battle. Sherwood, though, right now trying to close in. If he can get up here along with Jordan Trask, they might be able to capitalize and utilize it. That high line's where he needs to go.
Yeah, and he's just got to stay out of the wall. He's got to make sure that nobody, pinches him up to the wall. And he's out here making big moves. This could be his ticket to the playoffs.
Absolutely, and he's got the tires, he's got the setup. If I'm the 10 machine, I'm protecting a high line. I just don't think he knows it's there. Stephen Tuck needs to get up and stop that momentum off that turn, and he does. That's not what he wanted to see, but he's going to bump draft down the back stretch. Gives a little shove to the leader. Persley's there, backs him up just a little bit. That's just kind of that accordion effect, but there's new tires in effect. He's able to be able to run that high line. And Grant sees it. Grant says, not today. I'm shutting that off real quick.
And there he goes to the inside.
Ooh, he gets to run. Oh, a little tag to the leader. But he's going to take the lead. Rob Sherwood to the front. And I think he's just going to set sail from this point. Look at Grant, though, to the high side. 3 wide. He's coming down the pad stretch. He's got a load of steam. They make contact. Wow. Oh, boy.
Yeah, 4 wide. Look, there's a 79.
Oh, that's Trask. He's on new tires, too. Caleb.
This is, I think this is definitely the race we thought. Yeah, this is definitely the race we thought it was going to be. But what the racing we're seeing here is no different from what we were seeing 40 laps ago, So, I'm happy it stayed consistent. But the 70, the 79, and the 93 are on the same set of tires. They pit at the same time.
They are, yeah.
But the 19 pitted a little. Who's fighting the 79? Sorry, he pitted a little bit before. 7 laps? You said.
And Jeremy Moore too, right there. He's on the same set of tires. He's up here battling in 6, so he can make up some ground too. Oh, but he got in the wall just a little bit there. But a little bit too soon. Meanwhile, still up front, it's all Sherwood. Grant Trask able to hold him off, but right behind him you got Durant and Collins. We were watching Moyer back here, battling a little contact there. Oh boy, this is crazy.
7 laps to go. 6 laps to go. You got Chris Smith on the apron there. I think he's just trying to get out of the way of the leaders. Doesn't want to be in the way. This race has kind of turned, but now we're seeing the leaders kind of separate themselves.
Top 3 on those newer set of tires, But now Collins is actually on a little bit newer tires than Grant. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to get around Grant here. He's able to take that high side. I mean, either way, if Grant comes out of here with a 3rd or 4th, that's still a win-win for him tonight, considering what's happened and where he was earlier.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think he'll see it that way, considering he was battling for the win. But I think with everything that's going on tonight, I think anything's a win for our 3 drivers. He is not lifting at all.
Don't want to wreck, though. Don't want to wreck the guy.
Oh, no. We definitely don't want to wreck him. But this is the battle for the 3rd place spot. Pretty big points. See if he can get the run off the corner here. It's pretty even coming up the corner, but he's going to suck up right to the back of that truck. And then maybe he'll have a run going into turn 3.
His tires is the only thing. You can see that's that 7 lap newer tires there, whereas Collins is able just to run into that turn a little bit deeper than Grant is able to. Meanwhile, look out who's come back up through the field here. Altus, he says, hey, don't talk about me. Remember last time we started talking, I got happy. He has wrecked twice in this race. And still back in 6th place spot. That's hey, he needs to buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I mean, look, we are 3 laps to go, and I think I've seen the 79 making a move on the 93. Trask on Sherwood. It is a close battle. They're
He's
coming to
there.
2 to go.
We've seen
2 to go.
Sherwood in this position many a times, and I know he's probably crossing his fingers because it always seems like something happens. But if he just keeps it up, I think he's got it. He's got it in the. I don't want to say in the bag, but he's got it looking good so far. Trask right there trying everything he can. He goes high. Maybe see if we can sucker in Sherwood. Maybe get a run off the turn. Going to get to the white flag here with one more time to go.
Yeah, that was a really good corner exit by Sherwood. You know, you seen him in the frame, and then you didn't. You know, he positioned his truck really well. But look at the corner entry by Trask. I mean, just how much time he was willing, like, just to gain there. But you know, he needs to be careful. You know, that he doesn't, you know, do anything overly aggressive. But he's only got one more time around the track to do so.
Yes, he does. Meanwhile, we're looking back here around the 5th place spot because can Joshua Altus get a 3rd place? That would be like, wow. Are you kidding? I mean, this guy right here has, folks, he's wrecked twice in the race and still battling in 5th place spot along with Grant. Look at Grant gives a shove to Collins, 3 and 4, final time. We're seeing Rob Sherwood. You see Trask right there coming out of the turn. He's going to see if he can't one more time get it done. Not going to happen. He touches the wall. We're going to watch this battle for 3rd place because it's going to come to the wire. Collins is going to hang on to it. Man, Caleb, what a finish.
Yeah, I mean, and what a race. You know, just you know, the racing we've seen up front, and you know, from everyone in this race. You know, we had a little bit more cautions than what we're used to here in the Clean Racing League. But you know, the racing and the product that we've seen was, I mean, this is probably one of my favorite races I've ever commentated. The amount of action we've seen on the racetrack, it was everywhere. I mean, how many times we've seen different battles going on. But you know, Sherwood coming home in first. I know he's happy. And you know, I can't wait to hear from him.
Well, let's bring the man up here, Collins. Let's get a word with him because he's one of the hard chargers tonight, up 15 spots and gets that 3rd place finish here.
Hey, Parker, you got me?
Yeah.
How's it going, man? All right, so we you know, we kind of seen you hit with everyone else on that last caution, and you know, you had taken, I believe it was your last set of tires, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And you know, kind of taking the chance with Sherwood, Trask, and obviously it paid off for 3rd place. But like, how was your race, and how were you able to kind of manage the chaos? Because it seemed like we had a little bit more cautions than what we're used to.
Yeah, it was a struggle at first, you know, just first couple of rounds it was just kind of getting feet back acclimated with the racetrack. Haven't raced here in a while. Haven't really sim raced in a while. So it was just trying to get reacclimated and just trying to figure out a safe tire, and really struggled the first 2 runs there. And yeah, that last run when that caution came out, I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer. Like, I was taking 4 tires no matter what anybody else did. I was kind of surprised how many other people didn't take 4 tires. So it worked out to my advantage. I just didn't have the raw speed like the other guys did, and everybody else all day. You know, Evan and all of them up front. But it was a good race. Appreciate the guys at Only Dads for everything they've done. Loaded me a charter and everything, and yeah, it was a good day.
Well, you know, we heard you thanking Only Dads and everything, but is there anyone else you would like to thank for the race tonight? And you know, here's your time to shout anyone out.
Yeah, just everybody at Only Dads, some of the guys over at Tiny Dog Racing helped me get ready for today, and yeah.
All right, man. Well, congrats on your 3rd place finish here tonight, and we will see you next week. I don't know what track it is. I probably should, but
Yeah,
congrats
I
on
don't
your
know
3rd
either.
place finish.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Oh man, Collins bringing her home, like you said, third. Bringing both Traz up here, got hold of that second.
Hey, Jordan, you got me?
I got a copy.
All right, man. So we it kind of I want to say an up and down race. I mean, you were kind of up front, all race, kind of battling. But lap one, we kind of seen you get on the apron. And then we kind of seen you in the wall a few times. Um, but you kind of pushed through it, and then towards the end, we seen you pit with Sherwood, and the battle at the end. What was kind of your thought process going through it, and what was the game plan? Because you were battling for the lead.
Yeah, it was a very eventful race. I almost lost it in turn one, lap one, managed to collect it, but I saw there's a few guys loose behind me as well, causing a caution, so that kind of gave me a chance to cool the tires down. But it's been a long time since I've raced this truck at this track, and this is only my second ever time driving it. And so there was a lot of learning out there, and just learning how hard I could push it. And just slowly worked my way back up to the front after some untimely cautions and things. But yeah, that last run, Rob Sherwood put on a clinic. He got to the front quicker than I did, and I just didn't really have anything for him. I tried everything I had, eventually hitting the wall, but I didn't have anything else in the truck to get there.
Well, it was it was definitely a an action-packed race to watch, and just kind of seeing how everything unfolded. Um, is there anyone you would like to thank for the second place finish tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Chris and everyone here at the league and you guys, and special thanks to Joe and Judson and Wayne for our team starting up this year, starting off strong with a couple good finishes, and hopefully we can finish out the season with some playoff contenders.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, congrats on your second place finish, and next week we're at Gateway, so hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, I still got to buy that track, so that's going to be another learning experience for me. Hope
Well,
to
have
talk to
fun
you guys
with that.
again.
Have fun with that. It is a terrible track.
I agree. I've seen it.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You as well.
Well, there you go. That's old Jordan Traz. This man here, he got it done. Rob, join the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you.
Well, normally, it's up and down, and it was an up and down night for you, but you was able to persevere, get yourself in that spot. That last caution when you came on pit road, at any time, a point was you kind of worried that was you able going to be able to get back up front?
Yeah, 100%. As I was coming down pit road, it was one of those I didn't want to give another race away off pit strategy. So I was terrified that wasn't going to work. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get back up there or not, but I felt like I had a pretty good shot. And then when I came out and I saw I was 8th, honestly, it helped that I pulled everybody with me. Because if I hadn't and I had restarted further back, I don't know if I would have gotten up there. So definitely fortunate that a lot of people came with me there.
Absolutely, like you said, and getting it done tonight, punching yourself a ticket into playoffs here early on. How does that feel for you, and how does that help you, go about for the rest of the season?
Honestly, I'm not even thinking about the playoff side of it. It's just it's been a long time since I got a win, and I needed the confidence boost. It's we've got such good drivers in here now. Jordan Trask came here running for my money tonight. Tyler Pursley was up there tonight. Justin Duran, he's a new guy, but he had a great night up there. And of course, Evan Kinney is like a god at this track. So I'm not really sure where he finished, but to beat those guys just gives me loads of confidence. And we've got some really good tracks for me coming up that I'm looking forward to, and it just kind of allows me to not worry about the points aspect. I can try some different stuff and just go have fun.
Well, absolutely, it paid off for you tonight. Got you out front, got you to win here at Auto Club. Got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting every week. I can't wait to go back and watch this. Thank my wife for listening to me, put up with me, do this stuff. Thank my dad. He's out in Arizona watching right now. Thank my teammate Josh. He had some issues tonight, and the fact that he rebounded for a P5 is pretty incredible. He's really good here as well, and I think that kind of shows with his finish. So thank everybody there. We really miss our other teammates, Matt Dyer, Zach Peterson, and Ross Tatum. Ross Tatum's having a drink for me on a cruise ship right now, so hope he's having a good time, and just thank Chris for all the work he puts into the league. He puts so much effort into this, and there's so much excitement behind it. So, yeah, thank you guys again, and look forward to hopefully seeing you soon.
There you go, winner tonight, Rob Sherwood. Caleb, well, I tell you what, Auto Club, sometimes it brings about the best of it. Tonight, it was just a chaotic, wild night here at the Clean Racing League.
Chaotic but entertaining. It was definitely one of the most entertaining races I've ever broadcasted or commentated on. The Auto Club never fails to disappoint. But now this race is in the past. Now we're looking forward to next week at Gateway. A very it's not your typical mile and a half track. Both corner, one's banked, and the other one is flat. So you kind of have to. It, a lot of drivers are probably going to have to practice, and get a feel for the track, because it is definitely a track to where um, you kind of have to be on point every single lap. And I'm sure we'll see it next week. Who 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 came prepared and who didn't.
Absolutely. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a good one here at Auto Club with the Clean Racing League. For myself and everyone, have a good night.